Typically at a conference like this, when you start talking about relationships, they're like, I want to close, man, I'm broke. Dude, listen, you want to be rich for your whole life? Learn how to build relationships, very simple. I respect myself because I'm not the most skilled, I'm not the most talented, but I'm bold, I'm strategic, and I care about people. And I would leave you with this one last thing, very simple. You're always...
He invested a lot in himself, and he changed his whole identity, man. And he is one of our top earners in our company. He's a young kid that has multiple properties in real estate. He's just crushing it. Like, he is from every factor of life, one of the biggest thinkers in the Elliott Group. He's crazy as hell. He's the guy that, like, you don't even know that's a closer, but is, to me, the best closer in the Elliott Group out of all of us. I will say that. He is one of the most phenomenal dudes. So, his name is Brendan Whiting. Let's go ahead and bring him.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Let's go, baby. Yeah, okay, cool. There you go. All right, so first things first. Shout out to Ian for putting this together. I mean, how cool is this to be in a room full of like-minded people? Crazy. Secondly, I have a passion. It's to build strategic dog salespeople, like some straight killers. There's something about me that you'll learn. And one thing about me is I respect the fuck out of myself. And all of you should too. If you ever hear somebody talk about loving themselves and it pisses you off, you probably don't like who you are. Does that make sense? I respect myself because I'm not the most skilled, I'm not the most talented, but I'm bold, I'm strategic, and I care about people. Very simple. So the good news is everybody here is qualified as long as you get the right strategies, you get the right community, the right people around you, and you're bold, which all of you are because you came out here, so give it up for yourselves. Come on. So I believe that my biggest advantage is I'm a long-term thinker. So the first thing I want you guys to write down is long-term thinker. See, there was a guy that used to come around here and he'd always tell me, he's like, dude, you need to freaking buy 3-4 cars. You need to freaking buy all these watches and shit to flex. And I said, dude, you know what I get the most satisfaction out of? I get the most satisfaction out of knowing I'm planting a seed that's going to soon be a big ass harvest. And even just the thought of it growing and one day being able to show people what I've built excites me more than actually, doing something stupid for instant gratification. I like delayed gratification, right? So I'm gonna show you guys how to do this in business. And it's very simple, it's one word, it's called relationships, okay? Typically at a conference like this, when you start talking about relationships, people go to fucking sleep, right? Because they're like, I wanna close, man, I'm broke. Dude, listen, you wanna be rich for your whole life? Learn how to build relationships, very simple, right? And what I would love for all you guys to have is a play, so that way when you guys get out of here and you make your first 100, 500, 1,000, $1 million, you can keep it, grow it, and live a good life, okay? So first things first, I'll jump right into it. Here's, Enrique, can you go to the next slide? Here's what I want you guys to learn today. All right, guys, people ask me all the time, Brendan, how can I get closer to you, Andy, the Elliott Group, so I can go to the next level? So we just dropped our newest program called ETA Plus. And it's a really cool opportunity to get all the coaching that the Elliott Group offers and also get really close to me as well, so I can personally coach you too. ETA, you get access to all of our exclusive content, Zoom calls every single week, you live stream every single Elliott event we do 12 events per year. Also, when you join with me, you're gonna join my personal community, I'm gonna coach you, and then also you'll be a part of a group of like-minded men and women that are going to the next level. So if you guys wanna join, I'm gonna put my cell phone number right here on the video. I just want you to text me ETA, okay? And I'll reach out to you, I'll get you all the information. It's super cheap and affordable. It's designed to help every salesperson and business owner level up and go to the next level. Let's get back to the video. Number one, how to accelerate your wealth through building better relationships. Number two, how to break revenue records by building better relationships. How to build relationship capital, how to make way more money, way easier, and how to live a better life all around. Is that what everybody wants? Yeah. Okay, you can go to the next one. So I'll pull up something really quick and I'll show you why I love teaching this to people. And it'll explain a lot more about who I am and my background. But I'll just go ahead and get into it. So first of all, I know you guys have heard this Andyism before, and I'm gonna use it because it's the perfect way to talk about my childhood. It was a Jerry Springer shit show. I have reasonable evidence to prove that no one in my family ever made more than $50,000 in a year. And when I say family, I mean my whole bloodline. So I was programmed to be poor, have no self-worth, and just, I was basically on the path to be a complete piece of shit, right? I had paradigm shifts in my life. Anytime I talk to anybody and anytime I coach them, I say, what were your paradigm shifts you had in your life, right? There was a couple for me. Number one, like that was my house I lived in. Back when I had no relationships, I didn't understand how to build wealth, and I was not the person that I am today. That's the first car I ever sold. That's the house I bought 6 months ago with my fiance, Gia. Shout out to Gia if she's in the room. Come on. And, you know, I'll tell you a couple paradigm shifts I had. So when I was 18, I literally had destroyed my whole life, and I'd let down everybody. I was literally living on a buddy's couch, and I had zero self-worth, right? And one day I read a book. I picked up one book, and it changed my whole life. It was talking about paradigm shifts and how you don't have to be the victim of your story. You're in control of your own life. And something about it spoke to me. I got into car sales. I started making 6 figures a year, then multiple 6 figures a year. But it wasn't until my biggest paradigm shift and where I'm going with this with relationships is these last 2 pictures over here. So there's a Breitling watch that I won in that second one. And then the last one's when I became the top salesman a couple months ago and got a Rolex, right? Now, all of that is because of this. It's through relationships. It's how I was able to do it. So what I realized was I used to be such a transactional salesperson, and I didn't understand how to build relationships, right? So what I did was I was constantly up and down. It was like I would grind my ass off, I would work my ass off, and it would be like starting from zero over and over and over and over again. Can any of you guys relate? Yes. And then also, going back to my story, my parents used to tell stories about people who had made 6 figures before, and I would think about like these were like had to be special people that knew something that I didn't know, right? Well, the truth is there are things that we don't know, right? That most of you guys don't know until today, until I teach them to you. So write this down. This is what wealthy people know that unsuccessful people don't understand. Money, it doesn't grow on trees. It lives in other people's pockets. That's where it comes from. There's 2 types of people in this world. There's givers, and then there's takers. Any of you guys ever worked with a taker before? Yep. You know exactly what I'm talking about then. So, when it comes to building these relationships, what I had to learn was I was a taker, right? I was constantly trying to pull from people. It was one of those things where every time I called somebody, it was to get some money. Look, I learned in the car business, and when you go from making 0 to making $100,000 or a couple $100,000, all your mind thinks about is close. I got to eat, I got to feed my family, right? But where playing the long game comes in is that if I'm able to build my relationship capital, then over time, everything starts to change. Okay? So the way this played out in sales is very simple. I said, I need to make a plan to where number one, I need to shift my mindset. I need to go from being a taker to a giver. I need to go from being transactional to being relational, right? Well, people always ask me, how do you do it? Well, it's very simple. What I did was I created 3 lists. Write that down. There's 3 lists that you need to have. And that's what I'm going to teach you. So first of all, the greatest salespeople, earlier today, Danny Klein was talking about the trifecta. I got my own version of the trifecta. Here's what it is. Prospecting, nurturing, and influencing. That's the 3 skills every amazing salesperson has. Prospecting, nurturing, and influencing. Now, when you guys are hearing this, you're like, prospecting sounds fun. And influencing sounds fun. Nurturing sounds gay, right? But nurturing is where the money's at. Nurturing is where the 7-figure earners are built, right? And that's the part that people skip over. They go, I want to learn how to influence, I want to learn how to prospect. You don't learn how to nurture, you're still going to be broke, right? So, another 2 skills that you should write down. What's another great skill of salespeople? Intuition and awareness. Knowing who to nurture. One thing about great salespeople is you'll never see them talking to people that are never going to buy and are just stringing them along. They have an ability to read people, and they can tell who's serious about doing business with them, who's going to be a giver, not a taker. And you probably notice this, right? If you're a shitty buyer, if you're a shitty client, you probably notice when you come to events or when you meet people, like they don't want to be around you, right? Because how you buy is how you sell. So if you're known as a taker and you're the guy who always wants the lowest deal, you want to rag on everybody, it's like, dude, that's why no one wants to coach you. You know what I'm saying? So basically, what I started to understand was, I said, I got to get my shit straight. I got to learn how to build the right relationships. I got to have intuition. I got to decide to build my network. Build my network. So here's what I did. I created 3 lists. I call it a top relationships list. I call it a hot list. And then my last one's my core relationships. Okay? And here's how it works. So, you guys ever done business with somebody, sold them a car, sold them solar, sold them consulting, and they're like the greatest clients ever? It's like 1 out of 100. You're like, dude, you're fucking awesome. I wish we could just go grab coffee or something after this, right? So, what the fuck is that? So the way that this starts is very simple. It's one by one. This is again, going back to being a long-term thinker, this is not something that's gonna, overnight you're gonna get rich, but it will guarantee that you do get rich. So whenever I sell somebody and I'm like, man, I really, really, really enjoy this person. I genuinely want to work with them long-term. I want them to know how much I care. I have a list of what I call my top relationships, and I put them on this list, right? And here's another thing. I know that if I show this person value, they're going to reciprocate. They're going to understand, hey, this person is really caring about me. So with this list, I build it over time. First of all, when I go out to events like this, I'm an initiator. I'm shaking hands. I'm not just going to come out to an event like this with all these amazing people. And have you guys met a lot of great people today? Yes. I'm going to come out to a great event like this, not shake any hands, go home and be like, man, that event sucked. There was nobody there that was cool. Nobody talked to me. You know, you got to do your part. Now, as I'm going through this process, I'm building this list. And then what I'm doing is I'm deciding, hey, you know what? All of these people, I'm going to show them insane value. I'm going to build relationship capital with them. Right? What does that mean? Here's what it means. It's called giving people value. It's called giving to them before you ask them for something. It's like Gary Vee calls it jab, jab, right hook. You know, if I wanted to get something from my man Joe, I'm not going to come up to him and say, hey, Joe, you want to buy this? I'm going to say, hey, Joe, nice shoes, man. Hey, take this. Here's a little free sample. By the way, what's your name? And then I'm going to go for it, right? Probably more likely to close the deal. So I'm going to nurture all these people, take care of them, send them referrals. Here's how to give people value. Send them referrals. Yep. You know, whether you sell cars, solar, real estate, consulting, coaching, it doesn't matter. The best thing you could have in your phone book is a list of 100 business owners that know, like, trust you, and you have a lot of relationship capital with. Am I right? That's right. Because if they did that, and they were like, hey, when it comes to freaking, AI, Seth is my guy. That's who I go to. I don't do any deals with AI without consulting with Seth first. And you had 100 people like that, and you're throwing them referrals all the time. They're throwing them back at you. Would you ever go broke? No. Hell no. You've just like built yourself a moat around your wealth. So that's one. The second one is a hot list. A lot of people ask me, how do I build my intuition as a salesperson? Well, the way you build your intuition is by running a hot list. I don't know a single salesperson that's a top earner that doesn't have a daily hot list. You guys do that every day? If you don't, then you need to start. No matter what you sell, you need to have a list of the top 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 deals that are going to be closing in the next 2 weeks. And you need to write it down every day, because how are you going to start to learn, who's a real client, who's not? Well, you're going to learn by assuming, using your intuition and going, hey, I think this guy's going to be a good client. And then does he end up closing or does he not? You're going to learn tendencies in people, the way they act, the way they treat you, the way they talk, the way they stall, things like that. Does that make sense? Here's another big one. I call this core relationships. This is a big one. This is one that no one talks about. So the other day I was talking to a guy and he was like, dude, I owe money on taxes, like 20 grand. And I'm like, dude, that's crazy. Do you have an accountant? And he's like, no. And I'm like, well, that could be a problem for you, bro. You know what I'm saying? And what a lot of people do is, and look, every lesson I'm telling you, I've learned the hard way. So I can personally tell you that these are probably some good decisions you want to make, right? So you got to have core relationships. Like how good would it be for while you guys are starting out, for every single one of you guys to have a good attorney that you're in contact with in case you ever need one, you know? Like I keep freaking a baseball bat in my closet in case somebody breaks in, you know? I might not ever use it, but it'd be nice to have one in case somebody breaks in, right? You know what I'm saying? Most of you guys, like, if you ever plan on going big in life, being a multi-7-figure earner, building an 8-figure business, is that everybody in the room or no? Yes. Come on. Louder? Yes! Hell yeah. Cool. Then you're going to want an attorney. You're going to want to know an accountant. You're going to want to know a realtor. Here's another thing. This would be a really fast way to go broke. Dude, you know what I want to do? I want to be a freaking real estate investor and a freaking crypto trader and a realtor and a freaking car salesman. I've never met anybody who's super successful that does all 4 of those things. Or has 4 jobs, 7 jobs, things like that. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Gates was all wrong, dude. You know what I'm saying? 1 job, 1 hustle, be the best in the world, and then you're going to be successful. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. So Ian told you I got multiple real estate properties. I don't know shit about real estate. I got a relationship with a dude who knows all about it. That I gave him my money and I said, go to work, and now I get little mailbox money every month. It's pretty dope. So, but if you guys don't start planting these seeds, trying to figure out who are going to be my core relationships, when I can invest in real estate, who do I want to work with? When I do need an attorney, who am I going to call? When I do need an accountant, who am I going to work with? Well, now you've got core relationships, you've got a hot list, and now you've got freaking your top clients that you're going to continue to nurture and build relationships with. Does that make sense? Very, very simple. Guys, every single day I talk to business owners and salespeople that can't figure out why they're not reaching their full potential. It's always your mindset or your skill set. So I decided to open a free, 100% free mastermind where you can get close to me, and I'll do a monthly coaching call with you every single month. And then also you'll be subscribed to my newsletter where every single week I'm going to be sending you massive value to help you go to the next level with your personal brand, sales, and as a leader too. What I want you to do is click the link below, give me your name, phone number, email, no strings attached, completely free. You'll be subscribed and you'll be a part of my mastermind. Guys, I've worked with Andy for 5 years. I've been able to make $20, $50, even $100,000 in a single month before with the skills I've learned. And I want to give them to you for free so that we can build a relationship and go to the next level together. So click the link, sign up, and I'll see you guys inside. Now, I'm going to tell you a couple more things. You guys getting value so far? Yeah. Let's go. All right, so how to put this to work. Okay, number 1, you got to assess where you are right now. You got to ask yourself, am I starting at 0 every month? Do I have a shitty network? Or do I have strong relationships? I always ask people this. How many referrals have you sent to clients in the past 30 days to like in your network? And some people are like, dude, I never send people referrals. Well, motherfucker, why do you think you ain't getting referrals, bro? You know, you got to send them to get them. You know, just so you know, my love language is referrals. Okay? It's been proven. So you got to assess, where am I at right now? How can I walk out of this room? And how can I start giving more than I ask from now on? I learned this. There's what's called a relationship bank account. You should look at every relationship in your life. So you should say, where's my relationship bank account at? If I went to make an ask for something from anybody in my life, would they say yes? Or do I have a negative bank account? Because if I go to the bank and I got 200 negative, they won't let me pull out $500. I remember when I was 18, I tried it. It doesn't work. So what I do, my strategy with people is I try to give so much value that when I need to ask, it's like a damn bullseye. It's like right on the money. You see what I mean? Like Andy always talks about being a sniper. Never waste an offer. I'd write that down. Never waste an ask. Never just ask somebody to buy something just because you want to sell it. If you're going to ask somebody to buy something, it's because you know for sure it's going to solve their problems. Here's another thing I always say. I have about 24 or so people that I could pull out my phone right now. I could call them and ask them for $100,000. They'd probably send it to me because I've got so much relationship capital built up with those people. And the reason that I have that, I've built that trust is because when I call those people and ask them for things, they know it's not just because I need something. They know it's because it's genuinely the right move for them. Does that make sense? Yes. This takes time. This doesn't happen overnight. Shift your mindset, build your relationships. Here's another thing, and this is why I'm super proud of you guys. Build your tribe. How many of you guys first time coming to an event? Raise your hand. Woo! How good does it feel to be around a room of people that want to give, that aren't here to take from you, and actually want to help you advance your life forward? See, if I could go back 4 years ago to my first event, and I was sitting right there, right, and I was Randy, I'd be like, okay, every single person I talk to, I'm going to be intentional. Write that down. That's the number one word. If you think you're going to unintentionally get rich, you are fucking stupid. It ain't going to happen. You're going to have to be intentional. What has everybody up here said so far throughout their speech? Intentionality. Okay? I'm intentional. What is this strategy? This is not winging it, is it? This is being very intentional with everybody you meet. Anytime you go to a networking event, anywhere you go, you should have a strategy to put on to ensure success. So I'm very intentional. And if I were sitting in that seat, what I would do is I would come to this event and I'd say, who do I need to connect with right now? Am I looking for a mentor? Am I looking for another car salesman who's a little bit further down the road that knows a little bit more than me? Do I need a videographer? Do I need credit repair? I mean, do I got shitty credit? I mean, look, dude, if you guys need credit repair, let me plug you with, you guys want me to plug you with a really good relationship? You guys want me to tell you? You guys want me to give you a real life example of how I took a relationship and it helped me out big time. Okay, perfect example. Scotty Tregellis, he's in the back of the room. This first of all, this guy paid us $100,000 to be in our Brotherhood Mastermind. Do you think he thought I was transactional, or do you think he thought I was relational? Do you think I built some relationship capital before I asked him to pay me $100,000? Right. Got it. Okay, second thing, he does credit repair. So what he helped me do is get like a 750 plus credit score, and then also helps me travel for free and helps everybody that we work with travel, not spend any money at all when they go to freaking Bali and Dubai and all that shit. And you guys should get with a guy like that. See, great networkers. You ever met somebody and they're like, I got a guy for that? Yes. You need credit repair? I got a guy for that. You need an accountant? I got a guy for that. You need freaking solar? Got a guy for that. Come on. You guys need to be that person. Whenever someone is around you and you hear a need, you need to be like, dude, I got a guy for that, bro. I got a guy you definitely need to plug in with. Okay? All right, so I talk a lot, and I thought this was going to be like, an hour or something, but all good. So I want to wrap this up, and here's what I want to explain. I fucked up when I first started doing this because I was like, okay, I'm going to build all these relationships with all my clients, and I didn't realize I needed to pour in the hardest to these relationships, which are by far the most important ones you'll ever have. And most of you guys do not have the level of relationships you need to have with these types of people in your life. Number one, your team. I got a fucking amazing team. I'm sure all of you are aware of that. I don't got to tell you about my team, right? Gia, who's my fiance, who's now in the room. Come on, let's go. Just got engaged to her recently. That was super fun. Mentors. I got to give a lot of credit to Andy because 4 years ago I sat in the chair right over there and literally had a paradigm shift, and that's what started everything. Yourself and then God. And these are the two that you start with, and these are the two that are number one, the most important. I wouldn't be where I'm at without God, of course. And then you gotta build a good relationship with yourself. Number one, if I could tell you guys anything today after you leave, it's sit down, forgive yourself, shift your mindset, literally look in the mirror and realize like you were born to do something great with your life. You feel me? Yes. And I would leave you with this one last thing. Very simple. You're always one connection away from changing your whole life. I mean, again, going back to paradigm shifts. I mean, dude, if I hadn't met Andy, where would I be? If a lot of you guys hadn't plugged into ETA, where would you be? Where could you be if you guys really ran this play, built all these relationships, and a year from now you're surrounded by great people, you've got your core relationships, you're making more money than you've ever made, and you've got a family around you that you're running with. You feel me? So that wraps it up. Appreciate you guys. We're going to run this play. We're going to run this play. Let's go, baby. Let's get it.
Guys, what do you think? Do you get some value from that?
Come on, baby.
Awesome, guys. Yeah, that's my goal, man. Stay standing.
baby.
I ran upstairs. I was looking for just
All right, guys. Thanks again for watching another video. And one thing I want you to know is that every single week I'm putting out free value that's going to help you go to the next level in sales, personal branding, and as a leader as well. So if you guys are enjoying the content, I want you to like the video, comment below. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was from this training. And then subscribe and share with your friends if you know somebody who wants to level up. And lastly, if you guys need help from me at all, anything, I want you to text me. I'm gonna put my phone number right here. You can text me with any concerns, questions, anything you want, and I'm happy to help. Thanks for watching another video. I'll see you guys next time.